see if I can see if I can kill him. I can kill him.
Yeah, I hear him making some noise and that kind of thing. You guys hear that?
Oh
Can't see.
shit!
I can't see. I can't see.
I can't
Oh.
believe I killed him. I can't believe I killed him.
Was it
I had all the
Ash
time.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to think which content I should make, but I'm going to fly on this one. If I sound sick, my nose is stuffy, so there you go. But I was gonna make more videos of movies, reviewing movies, and why I hate Marvel, basically. Well, I don't necessarily hate it, but why I prefer DC over Marvel, and video games. But there's a lot of rumor going around that the PS4.5 is coming out, and a lot of people are mad. You know, like, oh, well, that's gay. Oh, how come they're, coming out with the PS4.5? I already bought this console, this year or whatever. And all I gotta say is tough titties. Because, oh, well, my opinion, firstly, on the PS4.5 is I really don't care. To me, it's like you're just upgrading your console. You're upgrading your, PC. That's basically what it is. And, there's a lot of people were saying that the PS4 and Xbox One were severely underpowered. And you see that with games, especially Battlefield. Battlefield is like, what, 900p on the PlayStation and 720? Battlefront Star Wars is 900p 720 on Xbox. That's kind of sad. I mean, shit, 720p. Let's go back to my gaming life. Pre 1080p 60 frames or whatever. I didn't give a crap about resolutions or frame rates. To me, I got my PS2 in third grade, and the first game I got with it was Spider-Man 3. I didn't have no memory card, of course, so I just kept on playing it over and over and over again. But that was my childhood. But the first PS2 game I actually played was True Crime Streets of LA. I was like, what, 6 years old playing that joint. Now you got people playing Minecraft and Angry Birds, I guess I'm kind of glad I played True Crime System LA when I was 6. But I'm getting sidetracked here. But yeah, I didn't really care about, resolutions or graphics or how much memory this game has. I remember when I was a kid, I was naive, but I didn't have Game Informers as well. So the only way I got games was, and it was mostly used. I went to GameStop. If the game looked cool, from the box, I got it. I played it. If it sucked, I took it back. That's how it was. And I mostly got a lot of World War II games, but that's besides the point. But I believe, 1080p 60 frames does matter is because if you look back at what Sony was saying, especially Sony, I don't think Microsoft was saying this much, but it was just what Sony was advertising, especially when they first revealed the PS3 and they went to E3, it was 1080p 60 frames per second, 1080p, 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 Killzone, Shadowfall, 1080p 60 frames per second. That's all Sony was advertising on their console. So of course, you're getting the consumers in that mindset that, oh shit, we're getting a console that's 1080p, 60 frames per second. That's what you're selling, that's what we should get as consumers. But, of course, that's not what we got. We got some games 1080p, 60, with horrible frame rates dropping below 50, or, going at least all the way to 22 frames per second. I think Digital Foundry did one on Thief, that it was 1080p, 60 frames per second on PlayStation, but it dropped to 22 frames. And then you have the Xbox, who's doing a dynamic resolution, which is, well, it's not really 1080p, but it's not native 1080p. It's like, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm playing this game, right? And a lot of physics are happening, so it drops the resolution while you're playing, so it can sustain a 60 frames per second. That's not next gen. And I guess that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are moving over to PC, is because they're tired of this bull crap. I mean, sure, the only reason to get a console is for the exclusives. Uncharted 4, Killzone, you had the order, but mostly an Xbox, Halo, Gears of War, and etc. So that's the only main reason to get an Xbox. I mean, a console. But even getting an Xbox is like there's no point of getting an Xbox if all those exclusives are going over to PC. So it's like this generation, both Sony or Microsoft, they don't know what they want. Like the gaming history is like gone to the dark zone, to the dark ages, and we're new territory basically. We're in uncharted waters, no pun intended. But I'm getting the PS4.5 or PS4 a Neo, whatever they're calling it. And it's funny how they called the code names Neo because of Morpheus. The PlayStation VR's called, well, its code name was Morpheus. So are they gonna release the Trinity out? I don't know. But it's fascinating how they're doing it from the Matrix movie. But I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos and people are saying, well, it's the fanboys. It's their fault that the PS4.5 is coming out because they're bitching about and crying about 1080p. It's consoles war. They were bitching about the 1080p. But if you look at last gen, nobody cared. Especially PC consumers cared. And when they talked about consoles, console players was like, nah, we don't care about resolution or frame rate. We just care about the game's good looking or not. And you see a lot of people bitching about it now. I don't blame fanboys. Well, yeah, they have some part, but I mostly blame the companies. I mostly blame Sony because consoles owners didn't care about resolutions or frame rate at all until they brought up with the PS4 about 1080p 60 frames. And then that's when everybody started getting their head about 1080p 60 frames. So I don't think it's necessarily fanboys. I think it's necessarily how the PS4 was advertised. I'm really beating that to a dead horse. I gotta move on. But to me, the PS4.5 is like getting another PlayStation, like a PlayStation Slim, but it's just more powerful. It's probably gonna release $400. I'm probably gonna pick that up and give this system to my sister. But yeah, it's just like getting a Slim. I don't understand why people are mad about it. And especially people that were bitching about, oh, well, the consoles are so weak, they need to upgrade. And as soon as they upgrade, they get pissed off about them upgrading. And I feel like the gaming community is like, we bitch too much. We can't say, hey, this game's good, this game wasn't. You know, I believe I died like a hoe. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, we bitch and complain way too much. The PS4 deserves an upgrade. Same with the Xbox. And I'm beating this to a dead horse and I'm repeating myself, but I mean 720p was last generation. Last generation lasted about 10 to 11 years. It lasted about a decade. Because yeah, almost a decade, man. It lasted 7 years. Unless you're starting to get it now. But that's a long time for 70. And when the consoles did release in 2013, 4K was already a thing. That's kind of sad. 4K television. Yeah, of course you got people who don't care about 4K television. But I was at Best Buy and I was at Ohio. I was for my sister's college thing. I think it was her birthday and we are gonna give her a new computer. And one of the guy at Best Buy was telling this consumer, oh man, you gotta get this 4K TV. It's totally worth it. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, your ass is getting robbed if you get this 4K TV. And the reason I'm saying that is because 4K is not even really a big thing in America. You don't have that much TV shows in 4K. The UK mostly has like at least 22 shows in 4K, if I'm not mistaken. They probably have more, but when I heard 22, it was like a while back, so I'm sticking with it.
Snoop Dogg.
Uh, speaking of, 4K and everything, it's 2016, and I still see movies advertising stuff for DVD. I got my PS4, what, 2011? And I never went back to DVD movies. I never. Once I got 4K, I have 4K. Once I got a Blu-ray, I saw the HD quality of it, and I was like, shit, I was missing out all the way back in 2006 when I didn't get it. Blu-ray is just so clear, and to say, you don't see a difference, that's a whole nother video. So, but hopefully this, I'm glad with it. I'm glad. 400 bucks, you might as well just get a PC, to be honest, and upgrade your PC once a year. That's just my opinion. I do want to get a PC. Because if I'm going to keep on up, I got the PS4 at $836. No, I did not get it off the black market. It just, I got the PS4, I got 2 years of PlayStation Plus, 2 controllers, and 2 video games. All add up to, $836. I was like, shit, I could have gotten myself, a mid-range PC. And right now, it could have been more powerful. But I'm gonna get this, and hopefully we will see smoother frames, and hopefully reach that 1080p that's been a thing since 2005. Well, I want to say thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And if I'm doing something wrong, or if I said something that offended you, please leave it in the comments below. I'll go check it out. And hopefully see you guys in the next raid video. Peace.
Being afraid someone would catch us and take me away from her. I made a promise. Whatever would happen to me, I would find a way back to her.
You can't go by yourself. Not with them monsters out there.
If I do not go, I might as well let the monsters rip my insides out. I will go up through that hole, and you will help me. I know you will, Mr. BJ.
Here. Listen, I can come with you.
No, silly soldier man. You will stop Helga. I will be careful.